start us off in the bottom left-hand side, the red Zerg player, it is going to be Rogue. And in the top right, our pink Protoss is Zest. To kick us off into Pillars of Gold to get us going at the start here. So a couple drones on the way out from Rogue. Not going to 12 pool. We've seen Pillars of Gold once today. But it's very exciting, guys. Map 2 of this series is on Oxide. The one map we have yet to see. So the one map we are still yet to see is the one map is going to come up next. I'm so excited to actually see some Oxide. Figure out why the hell it's being vetoed all the time. Because it's being vetoed a lot. And I really mean like a lot. It's kind of crazy. So, as we get this going, we do see the Overlord making its way across early game, waiting to see what Zest wants to do. Looks as though he's going to go Cyber Core before the Nexus. So Cybernex Core before the Nexus is going to be a very early unit out of this gateway. Interesting. Very interesting here from Zest, who just doesn't scout at all. Sorry, he scouts with this probe. He does scout, sorry. Wardy making some bad calls today. I should think before I speak sometimes. Yeah, so gonna go Cyber Core, then the Nexus, and then just getting going from there, as we do have the... It just means the first Adept's going to be nice and quick coming across the map, so Zest will be able to apply some pressure from that as the Overlord of Rogue continues to scout over in towards the natural. Adept already, Chrono boosting out here from Zest. It's going to be popping out in a few moments' time. So getting that Adept out. And meanwhile, across the map, Rogue has the third hatchery now building, so already getting that into play. Going to see this probe patrolling away as well in the front of the natural expansion. Warp gate setting up from Zest in the natural expansion, so we do just have him making his decisions, and it's going to be a Twilight Council, so I'm not going to go in towards an early Stargate or anything, and I kind of have a feeling this might be a Glaives opener. I kind of have the feeling this might just be a little bit of a Glaives opener here. We'll see. Obviously, Zest was one of the players who loved Archon drops as well, and so was a possibility too. And he has got a probe here to build a robo on 100k, so maybe it is just a Dark Shrine. Yeah, I was kind of feeling Glaives, though. We've seen a lot of Glaives lately, especially. We've seen a lot of Glaives lately. Which is kind of one of the reasons I'm kind of like, oh yeah, maybe Glaives, but no, maybe not. As we do see the Warp Gate coming on through then. We have a Link Speed upgrade coming in from Rogue as well. There's the Dark Shrine from Zest just setting up in the back of the main base. So it is going to be a DT drop into the Archons. Good old. It's such a Zest build. It's like, if you wanted to... You had like a gun to your head and you had to say, what Zest is... what build is Zest going to do? If you said Archon drop in PvZ, it's probably going to save your life. Because it is... He just loves it. He really does. He sticks by this build through thick and thin. When even it isn't even like that much... you know what? I'm just going to pretend I did talk for the last minute already. He sticks by this build through thick and thin. And even when it's not so heavily used in the meta, Zest will still rely on it in a lot of his games. As the 6 drones continue to be produced here. A little bit of creep spread making its way out onto the map. And we do have the Stalker picking its way through the Overlord in the main base. Extra gateway morphing into a Warp Gate right now. Going to be seeing the pylon from Zest building up as well. We do see the Dark Shrine about to complete. So the Dark Shrine will be finishing as we do have the Warp Prism just making its way out and along. Towards the bottom left-hand side, a few Zerglings coming along with this. A couple spines, a couple drones. Just going to be seeing the few DTs already warping in here as we do have a couple of Adepts will make their way towards the main. And preparation for this for Rogue. Well, he didn't actually have a Spore Crawler ready just yet on the natural expansion. And the Adepts will not commit to their shade there either. Very non-committal and probably... He could have realistically killed this Spore and killed this base. Oh, that's not even a Spore. What, hello? That's not even a spore crawler. It's a spine crawler. I just assumed it was a spore crawler. Oh my god, is that... I think that's just a mistake from Rogue, as Zest is going to kill so many queens here. A couple of drones going down as an Adept gets behind this mineral line. There's a spine crawler there as well. Oh my god, he actually just had no spore at all in this natural expansion. That's crazy. Kills the spore that's building. Now he could maybe get this burrowing spore. It's going to be tough. He's going to try and run out of range. He's going to try and recall because he knows he's in range of the detection. Saves 2 of the 4 DTs. Wow, that was just a crazy set of little bits and pieces. A couple of DTs and Adepts lost. Only kills 3 queens, 14 lings, and 3 drones, which feels like it could have been so much more. As Rogue will come up and go towards this third base. The DT is starting to swipe away. Shield Battery is going to finish up and healing up a little bit here and there. The lings continue to fight. I'm going to see those able to pick off the Nexus. So the Nexus will go down. New Nexus going to be built. There's 5 extra gateways starting up from Zest. He's got the charge upgrade on the way too. Yeah, so it's not like crazy like ending game damage from Zest, but it's not bad damage either. It definitely gives him a bit of an advantage. It definitely shakes things up and puts, you know, Rogue into a bit of a weird spot. Those DTs able to become an Archon there, and a couple of extra Archons able to fire a shot. Rogue might just die if Zest pushes, actually, with charge and all of these gateways. Because Rogue is not really set up in any sort of way to deal with this. He didn't go for the typical Roach Roaring. He's gone for Hydra Den after the spawning pool, so he's really just going to be on Ling Hydra, which is generally going to be not good at all against, you know, charged out Archon, and that's exactly what we're going to have coming in very high numbers as well. So this isn't looking too good. You're seeing the Archons continue to press on through, and Rogue again just caught unprepared and really paying the price for it at the moment as the Archon going to dance around here. Spore Crawlers firing on the Warp Prism. 7 drones and counting killed off as they pull into the fight, and Zest will close this game out with a few extra zealots just warping in, just to make sure that all of these Archons, by the way, very low, but it doesn't matter. Even if the Archons die at this stage, Zealot reinforcements alone will do the job to give Zest game 1 of this best of 3 up against Rogue. Start with the map intro. Let's see what the TL thread says about it. So, Oxide from the Rush category. A map by the Music 246 is a smaller map with rocks that lengthen the attack routes early in the game. Fast nat-to-nat timing, and map becomes high tension once the rocks are down. So welcome to Oxide for the first time in the tournament. In the top right-hand side, our blue Zerg is Rogue, taking on the pink Protoss player in the bottom left, Zest. Game 2 of this best of 3, and as we set this up, let's have a look then. So, yeah, when the rocks go down, it's a very quick rush across the map. Until the rocks go down, you kind of have to go... Well, I mean, you actually go up top and to the right, apparently. That's not even that much slower. So you basically come across straight up, and instead of cutting this corner, you still go around. So it's still pretty fast nat to nat, and maybe that's the issue. I feel like this ramp here kind of ruins the idea of what was meant to happen, because I feel like the probe's meant to go up here, and then maybe have to go, like, round here, maybe, and then up? I mean, it feels pretty quick otherwise. Interesting. Hey, Ricky Stokes, thank you so much for the 50 bits. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is, kind of funky, huh? As you do see the spawning pool on the way up from Rogue, so hatch gas pool. I'm intrigued to see what happens on the map. So natural, pretty regular. Third base can come down here or up here. It's one of those third bases that can be a bit weird to hold as well, because you've got to kind of defend and attack from here, but if the rocks go down, this third becomes really difficult to hold, because if these rocks go down too, the attack just comes from here and then swings around here, then here, then here. And yes, you can come down here and defend that, but you're pushing down a ramp into it. And obviously, I'm not convinced it's actually that easy a third base to hold at all. What's the third base like over here? It's kind of just too far away, right? It's so far around the corner. You've got to, like, defend here and then push across. I actually don't know if I like the base layout much at all. It feels kind of tough to get up to, like, 4 bases on even as well. Interesting. Like I say, I mean, I'm not going to really send out any judgment before we see more of the game, but it does immediately from the start. I can kind of understand why, looking at, like, the base layout alone, some of the players might not be too eager to try and play it out super early in the game. As we do set this up. It's almost like it's a rush map. It is a rush map, right? I mean, it makes sense. It's just how you look at games, right? I mean, 4th base is probably not meant to be easy to take. I'm just intrigued to see how that plays out. That's what I mean, though, right? Because I feel like some of the other rush maps are just rushed because they're a bit smaller maps versus the bases are still defendable. Interesting. Anyways, I'm just going to see these couple of depths pulling back away to the side, and we do have our Oracle production from Zest. So he is going to change up his build this time. He goes Stalker right away, so he will push the Overlord back, and that means he will not be building a Phoenix here. Probably just 2 Oracles from the get-go. This 2 Adepts going to shade out down to the bottom side of the map. So coming out down to the bottom, and we do see the Pylon going to complete the wall off here. Cycling speed going to be finishing up from Rogue, and yeah, we'll see what Zest does in terms of taking a 3rd base, what sort of time he takes it at, what sort of units he looks to use to defend a 3rd base, if he even goes to a 3rd base. Now, there's not a lot of 2-base stuff that comes off of Oracles without at least faking out a 3rd, right? Just because the 2-base would be pretty late off the Oracle, so you got to fake the 3rd to try and sell the idea that you're expanding. I see the Oracles continue to move around. Not just looking around, and finally, with the 2nd Oracle, we'll maybe try and get some damage done. So that's pretty quickly into Robo and a Twilight Cancel. We could still see a Templar Archives here. And into an Archon drop follow-up, definitely a possibility. Oracles come in, getting a couple of those drones. Hey, thank you so much, Ihi Seong, for the 100 bits. Appreciated. So going to see again a couple of these drones getting picked off, and again Lair Roach drone getting ready to go. As you do see the Temple Archives building up from Zest. So like mentioned, he's going to go into the Archon drop as a follow-up here. Nothing too crazy in the end. What's Rogue up to? 52 drones, then the Roach drone's going to be finishing up. Gives him the chance to go in towards his Roach speed and Roaches. Maybe we'll see what he wants to tech up to off the Lair as well. There's obviously going to be some choices there early on. Couple of Queens coming into the front then, as we do see the 3rd Nexus from Zest. So he's going to go to the bottom side as well, which makes sense. I don't think this 3rd base is holdable at all. As we do see the healing set up to run by. Again, initially, this base is pretty easy to defend with these rocks up. But once these rocks go down, it's a pretty open area to push in. And that rotation really will make it tough. So you've got to make sure you've got the numbers to fight that. Zest is going Storm, so never mind Archon drops. He's going to go Storm drops. This is one of those strats that Zest pulls out every now and then. It always feels a little bit hit and miss. Because either the storms drop and they kill all the workers, and you're like, oh my god, Zest's a god. Or it's one of those builds where the storms drop, the drones dodge. It's like, well, now the High Templar have no... and Zest is dead, you know? It just happens back to back so quickly. And you're like, whoa, that wasn't really so great, was it? And Zest will still continue to hang out with the few High Templar in the Warp Prism there. And he's going to warp in 1 Zealot too. So really trying to make it difficult for Rogue to judge what's going on. Finally, the Oracle activating and pushing those units away. I'm still making its way around the top. Swarm Host and the Nidus Network eventually going to be the choice from Rogue. So he's going to move into Swarm Host, in which case Storm will be great eventually. Those drones pull away very quick, and I mean, that's not good, right? You lose a High Templar already? Oh my god, the Warp Prism nearly dies. You killed no drones, right? Kills a couple, sorry. Apparently we don't have Game Hot on this game. Do we not? No, we do. No, he literally kills like 0 or 1 drones. And loses a High Templar. This was one of those times when you're like, oh, this kind of just flops. So now Rogue's going to get aggressive. The one good thing for Zest is he already has Storm, so Storm against the Locusts, that generally does work out quite well. That does generally work out quite well. So let's see how Rogue utilizes these Locusts and see if Zest is going to be able to defend it with those Storms that he has. It's definitely going to be tough after you commit into this early. You don't have a lot of supporting units, right? And that's maybe the bigger issue too. You're almost only reliant on the Storms, whereas typically you want the Storms to aid the other units finishing off. There's a couple Archons here now, and that's the right sort of idea, as we do see the Oracle is going to try and set up a Stasis Ward as well. First Storm actually lands on the Roach as the... Oh, well. I mean, these Locusts just dropped down into every single one against Stasis tier. Yeah, they just dropped straight into that. I mean, you kind of needed it, though, because otherwise these Locusts would have been having a field day. I mean, a couple Archons still trying to push the Roach Ravager back, but there's just no other supporting units just yet from Zest, right? Whereas the Zealots, oh my god, he has a Zealot in the Warp Prism, actually, and that stops the other Archon getting back in, so he misses the lift up, missed Micro, as was actually a High Templar, not a Zealot, I apologize. Makes sense for that, as we do see the extra High Templar warping in as well. Still going to be seen. Oh no, why are these Immortals so far forward? Loses one of those. I mean, Zest is just having a nightmare. As we're going to see Locusts rocking up, and they're going to start pushing forwards. I mean, Rogue, you can just see he's already pushing through this position. Didn't even bother to stop to take down these rocks. Took down the rocks to the left-hand side. Now he's going to dive in on top of this, and Zest has a really difficult hold to make. After losing some of his Immortals, after losing some Archons a little bit haphazardly, it's just going to make this really, really, really tough. And Rogue is just knocking down these gateways now, opening up a bit more space to fight in here. And well, obviously, we're also just waiting for the next Nidus to come up and to see where the Swarm hosts are actually going to commit to. They're going to go somewhere. They're currently just still sat here. I mean, they could relocate out to the left side, but I think for the moment it's fine just to take another fight here. There goes those rocks, and so Zest, they have to try and fight this as Archon's coming through. Stasis Ward goes off. I mean, all these Locusts dropping down, and Zest's army is melting away. Issue is there's so much Roach Ravager left at the end of this, and these Immortals and Archons are so low that Rogue will probably keep committing through even once the Locusts are dead. Rogue takes game 2 of this best of 3 and ties us up 1-1. Map between Rogue and Zest. Tied up. Going to Light Shade is in the bottom right. Our red Zerg player, it is Rogue. And in the upper left, our pink Protoss player is Zest from Raise Your Edge. Really happy with how this format is working so far. Just like larger groups and stuff. What I do like about the larger groups in the map contest is that players get to play more games. So it's the same players playing the maps more. So it's like they learn the maps better, right? Compared to in the past, like you could play like 6 maps and be done. It's like, well, you know, what was the point in even learning the maps, basically? Now you get to play a few more, and it definitely is. I think for me, I feel like the games are already looking a lot better than they have in previous map contests in Europe and in Korea. So, yeah, that's been quite nice to see so far as we get ourselves into this one. Obviously, this is the first time we've seen Zest today. And just a reminder, we're probably only going to be live for about another hour-ish. So we'll probably do this series and another series, guys. Just because something came up, I have to go and sort it out. So that will be happening. So, yeah, just one of those things. Just gotta go sort something out. Something came up, so we'll be doing anything we don't cast today. We'll do the other series tomorrow evening instead, after the Kung Fu Cup broadcast. Adept starting on up as the Overlord makes its way in towards the natural. On Light Shade, you have, this is the map that really for me reminds me of Acropolis. The base layout on this map is very similar to Acropolis. A lot of people are saying Simulacrum, which is also kind of true, but I really feel like this base down here and these bases up here look so much so like Acropolis that I just can't get that out of my mind. So it's that similar base layout with the middle of the map looking very different, which means the game will potentially play very differently as well, of course. As you do see, the Adept is going to send a shade forwards up in towards the main. As we do have the Zest Adept just looking to see what's up, going to move into that Twilight Council first again. So we'll see if he goes back to his trusty old Dark Templar opening, or if he's going to go for the Resonating Glaives, as these Adepts kind of committed through. A few Zerglings going to keep chasing, and the Adepts will have to back away out through up to the top side. These Adepts end up backing away Robo Facility, dropping down here from Zest in the main base. Did you just see the Stalker being picked away at? Dark Shrine setting up from Zest in the natural expansion, and just going to be seeing the Dark Shrine will give Zest access to, again, the build we saw in the first game. I mean, Rogue's response to that first build was debatable at best, and the fact that Zest didn't realize it was a no Spore Crawler natural, he could have ended the game so much sooner. He still did enough to realistically end the game very soon afterwards anyways, but yeah, we'll see if Rogue can respond a little bit better this time around as the Lings come at the front. Not really much scouting to be had. The Overlord on the top side is not going to make its way in just yet. Obviously, the first Overlord was already killed off, so yeah, not really much info for Rogue. Sees the... Oh, sorry, he sees the Twilight and the Robo. I'm just really not on point today, am I? I really keep missing things. So he's seen the Twilight and the Robo, so actually he does have pretty good information. So he starts up the Lair, Rotron, and the Spore Crawler as expected. As you do just see the few Zerglings moving through, a couple of Adepts being picked away at. Again, a little bit of damage being picked away at right now. Rotron going to be coming through on the natural expansion. And we are going to be seeing the, again, extra few Zerglings just popping out. Overlord's going to be coming out here as well, as we do see the DTs making their way forwards. For the War Prism to evacuate them, they'll just try and trade out a little bit, and then, of course, pull away. And this time, no real damage done. Roach is already on the way up as well, and they're mostly going to be for defending against the Archons. She's going to morph in right here. I mean, that's a very aggressive warp-in spot. The Adept's keeping the Lings busy to the top side, though, so it is actually going to work out just fine here from Zest in the end. As we are going to see these Archons will pick off this Overlord. So Overlord goes down, and now looking for the next Overlord kill as well, perhaps, or whatever else you can find, of course. Just dancing with the Roaches. And as we do have the little bit of damage being done, Roach Speed setting up, and the Spire dropping down from Rogue in the back of this main base as well. Lings coming through, a probe gets picked off. A couple of sentries firing away. As we do have the Nexus here on the third base under some fire. Someone's going to mention it's a replay. Yes, it's a replay. Again, we cast half of the games in a group live. Half of them from replays. The other half are just played earlier on today. So this was played a couple hours ago while some of the other matches were being played. Just means the players don't have to sit here for 6-7 hours. They can be done in 3 or 4 hours. And that's their day completed. So yes, this is a replay. This is literally the first replay we've done all day. We do this literally every single tournament we do nowadays because it literally makes so much more sense for the players. So this may as well be live, basically. Is this the way I phrase it? We call it live because no one knows the result apart from the 2 players. As we are going to see the couple of Archons coming through. So we're going to pick off the creep teamers here. So we do see this army pushing up. Zest's going to get a few more Lings out. Not a bunch of gateways once again here. He knows about the Spire, so he might just be looking to try and kill Rogue now. Before the Spire can come into play, that Immortal gets left behind. War Prism was nowhere near to lift this up. And we're seeing the Corrosive Bile going down here or there. And just going to see the Blink coming through on the Twilight Council. And the Roaches continue to come on out as we continue to get this going. Don't you see the result when you pull up the replay? No? You don't see the result. The replay doesn't tell you who wins. It's just got a name of the map it was played on. It tells you which players win it. As do you have the Archon and the Stalkers there, able to push away the Overseer. As the Roach Ravager army going to come to the upper left side. A couple more Corrosive Biles dropping down. The Prism has to stay away. And the Roach Ravager is going to back away over to the right then. So in the end, it kind of felt like Zest was trying to be real aggressive, but in the end, I mean, he's just backed away, third base being mined. Already setting up the Blink because he's still afraid of the Spire being utilized, so still afraid of that. As we do see the rest of this going down the bottom, that's going to be an Archon that gets picked off again. Zest has just been kind of leaving a unit here and there a couple of times already in this game, and, you know, those are little things that you can't really afford to happen too often. As he makes more Stalkers, the issue is Stalkers are going to be terrible against the Lurkers. You know, you really do want Charge and Immortals against that. So Zest's army is really good right now. But 3 minutes from now, if Zest hasn't won the game, his army composition is terrible. And he will absolutely have to change up how he is playing this. The Stalkers come through. I'm going to be seeing the Archons coming through. Hatchery is being picked away at. Another force field or two dropping down. Still these Stalkers backing away, and a couple corrosive piles landing. As we do have Zest going to make a blink up to the top side. Ravage is already being picked off. Some more corrosive piles dropping as the Overlords just get picked away. Again, Zest really wants to do something now while he's got this kind of Stalker Archon force. As soon as Lurker's up, Zest's life is going to be so much more difficult. As you see the Stalkers blink in, a couple of these Overlords already going down. It's a supply block on Rogue's army, so I mean, that's pretty nice as well, right? Stopping some reinforcements here for a while. As you do see, I mean, good concave here from Zest. But again, it is just Stalkers, and I do almost feel as though maybe adding in a couple of Immortals along the way might have been nice, or, you know, an extra couple of Archons. It has just been Stalker warp-ins for a long time now. And I feel like that's maybe a little bit too long because he's not making progress. And Hydras are on the way, which means the Lurkers are about 30 seconds out. And once these Lurkers on the map again, I do not see Zest's army doing anything in all of this. Again, Overlord speed is about to finish on the natural. Roach Ravager still coming up through the center. A couple Stalkers going to get lifted, and then we've seen a couple Stalkers going down. The army of Zest turns around for a moment. These rocks taking some shots as well. And it really is crazy that he's warping in Zealots now, and yet he still doesn't even have charge. Only just taking the third base gases. Zest was essentially like on a 3-base all-in. It's just, again, not played out. Especially with the fact that Rogue's composition is changing. So what do you do now? I mean, take the gases, try and tech up. Immortals are going to be big. You need charge. But there's also no Forge. There's also no Forge. There's also no +1. Which is also another issue, right? So you're just still so kind of committed. But now you're going to try and kill Rogue when he's got Lurkers, and that's not going to work either. Stalker's trying to move through, and we do see a couple of corrosive bars dropping. I can't believe he doesn't have charge. Like, he's had so long to build. I mean, I get he was warping in a ton of Stalkers, but if you're going to start warping in Zealots, at least start charge, right? Like, it makes no sense to add Zealots and not even get into charge, because it will just... The amount it improves the Zealots is just uncomparable to anything else you can do in this army with that 100 it would cost. Big warping. Oh, just units left down here. Maybe looking to come in from 2 angles. So Zest trying to work from a couple of different directions now, which might work. The Lurkers are going to leave here, so it does open up this base. Finally charged swords, and Zest is going to go, you know what? When 1 Forge isn't too late, maybe 2 Forges won't get the job good done. Go triple Forge. Triple Forge from Zest. Yeah, the 11-minute triple Forge timing. Definitely something new as we see 9 more Stalkers warping in, and yeah, he's gonna go all 3 up. That's unique, as we do see, hey, he's gonna catch the Lurkers. He gets about half of them already killed off here. That's big, and now the rest of this army didn't go in over here because there's a couple Lurkers were left behind. These Stalkers doing all right, and especially because they're kiting away. Now blinking down to this low ground, but he will be moving through the defensive Lurkers on that 4th base as well. Roaches and Ravagers still chasing. We're going to be seeing 9 more Stalkers coming up. Now it looks as though Zest still trying to get away out over the left-hand side as well. Rest of these Stalkers from Zest firing away, and Roach Ravager taking some extra shots of damage. Seismic Spines coming up, and just going to see 11 more drones on the way out. Stalkers moving back around at the bottom here. I mean, Zest is just trying to play like a run around, never actually commit to a fight kind of game, and that's not going to work when the Roaches get behind the Stalkers. Oh, the blink came in just in time. Even still, now the Stalkers don't have blinks, the Roaches can trade all right. Going to be seeing another round of Stalkers along the top. Again, this is just Zest trying to do something from a very, very rough position. You know, he was already in a lot of trouble. This was absolutely not going the way he wanted it to. And he's just trying to kind of freestyle away to a victory, but it's just not going to do enough. And the reality is, as Rogue is maxed out now, he's going to start chasing these Stalkers down a bit more. If Rogue can take a fight, he wins the game, but obviously the Stalkers are very difficult to take a fight against. They're very good at being, you know, they're very mobile, so they're able to move around a lot, they're able to dodge around a lot as well. As you do see the adaptive talent setting up from Rogue in the back of the 3rd base, and just going to be seeing, I mean, that's just going to give the Lurkers even more potential in this game. Right now, they can reposition even more quickly. And that only helps as Zest will make a play, gets one lurker, but I mean, it's one lurker for multiple Stalkers perhaps, as the blinks back are good, but then they're on cooldown. And so now even corrosive bowels are connecting. Well, Stalkers from the top side as well. They're going to go blinking aggressively forwards, try and chase this down. Maybe Zest feels like it's now or never. He has 1-1-1 finished, all of those upgrades off the forges. Yeah, there's just no tech in this army. Stalkers alone will not win this game, as the couple of lurkers will reposition. We do see lurkers on the bottom side. Good connections to push away the Stalkers once again. Yeah, this is probably going to be about it, as we see some more Roach Ravager. Still trying to press forwards here. The Stalker's being pushed away. More Stalkers from Zest to the right. Do have the army of Zest still just coming through the front. Blinking forwards, a couple lurkers already starting to go down. I mean, that's a lot. Oh my god. No, do I need to commentate this for you guys? I think the screen says enough. Brutal. As they blinks into the lurkers, that's exactly what I mean when Stalkers aren't good against lurkers. Zest just gets destroyed when he actually has to take a fight to try and end this game. GG's. And Rogue takes game 3 of the best of 3 and is able to win this out 2-1 over Zest.